We are Jerry and Susan Petrina. We are in Sagal, Idaho, which is Bonner County. Our business is Deerfield Farms. We grow 30 varieties of tomatoes, I think we're up to.
Well, Jerry was working at Coldwater Creek, and I was raising kids and schooling kids, and we wanted a more family-centric lifestyle. He was gone a lot, his job was demanding, and his days got longer and longer, and we didn't see him very much. When he'd get home, the kids would grab his legs and not let go, and so we had a life situation. We had a son who died, and that was when we said, okay, we need to change something. And so Jerry quit, and he had actually done some research.
We've had the bug. We grew up around agriculture, bucking hay in the summertime, and I've always been drawn to it, but we don't have that as a personal background. But when we were in college, I had a roommate who was, sixth generation farmer, and we used to escape the apartment and go get a real meal every now and then at his folks' place on the ranch, and I just loved being there. I loved the idea of agriculture. When we came to North Idaho, we looked around at the type of ag that was happening and what we might be able to do, and we thought, well, we're probably going to have to grow under plastic. And we looked at getting into the nursery business, lots of different options. I traveled around the country and visited other operations, and we landed with produce. And then a little bit further, we kind of dialed it into tomatoes. I just had so many produce managers say, man, if you could grow an organic local tomato, I know we could sell it. And so that was kind of the inspiration. We bought the greenhouse in 2006, and yeah.
Well, some people call them ugly tomatoes. I happen to think they're beautiful, but they are not your stereotypical round tomato. Some of the heirlooms are round, but each heirloom variety has its own unique color and flavor. And so you can have, they're all tomatoes, but you can have a Cherokee purple, and it's going to be kind of a brownish red color. And it's a really rich, earthy, kind of smoky flavor, versus the German Johnson that you saw. I think that one makes me think of homemade tomato soup. It's like a real rich, very intense tomatoey flavor. And then you can have different, some varieties are more of a paste type, and so they're more meaty, and then other varieties are very juicy. So when we're talking to customers at the market, they're wanting to know, what's the best tomato we're gonna do this today. And
sometimes I'll explain it in terms of, I don't know much about wine, but I go down the sugar and acid conversation. Mm-hmm. And so some varieties are very high acid, and you can tell, when you bite into it.
And those are the ones I prefer.
Yeah, and others are low acid and very high sugar content, and those are the ones
he prefers.
And we've played around with just with the different varieties over the years, checking the Brix levels, and
mm-hmm.
The Brix meter confirms that. The very sweet ones are the ones that are going to be higher in sugar.
So we grow a couple of yellow varieties. They tend to be lower in acid and higher in sugar. And so we have customers that can't eat a traditional tomato because of the high acid. Their body can't take it, but they can eat one of our orange varieties, and so they're generally pretty excited to be able to eat a tomato.
It's a good question. When we started, we were after that lifestyle, and it was sort of a means to an end. We did not coming from a farming background. We had to kind of discover what that is, so we had the idea. We had to go through the process to really get an idea of, in our case, what our style of farming is, and to have a customer base that is after a locally produced, flavorful, healthy. We're able to provide something that is going to do somebody good, and it's very rewarding.
We've had customers that were fighting cancer and surviving cancer, and they attribute our tomatoes as to one of the things that helped them to fight it. That they were eating this good quality food. And for me, when we had the discussion about how to grow, I was a mom of young children, and I wanted good quality food to feed my family, and so I wanted to grow food that I would want to feed my family. And so it means a lot to be able to provide something that's nourishing to people, and so it brings them joy because it tastes good. It's good for their body because it's nourishing them. And when we going through COVID, people ask, how did your business do during COVID? Well, people wanted good quality food. So
it's becoming a very talked about topic right now. And growing under plastic has got a lot of advantages as far as you don't have control of the weather, but you've got a little bit more control. We don't have to worry about a thunderstorm coming through in the middle of the night, knocking everything over, or a hailstorm, or freezing temperatures. So there are some good benefits in that respect. The other respect is it's very efficient. For the square footage that we're growing in, the yields that we're able to get, the amount of water we use, everything is very efficient, and I see that as a very positive thing as well.